What are we holding? Okay. This point I always make before we do Chav Gimel. Always make this point. One second. That, it seems to be, if little knowledge is dangerous. You read the story of Yitzchak Avinu. It seems to be, he just doesn't get it, Chas v'sholem. Esav deceives him. Rivka understands what it's about. She doesn't share it with her husband. It's evidently, Chas v'sholem, there's no communication between husband and wife over here. And as a result of this, disastrous events take place. He nearly gives the bracha to a person's not, then Rivka at the end has to come in and tell Yaakov to take the bracha, and this causes the hate. What's it all about? Right? Just simple understanding of the story. Now, if Rivka wouldn't have been told by Shem who Esav was, even though Rivka was brought up in that environment, she has a brother Lavan who's a close second to Esav. But if Shem wouldn't have revealed to her the essence and the reality of Esav, even Rivka wouldn't have known. So how does Rivka know who Esav is? It's not through her own natural understanding, it's a nevuah. The nevuah was communicated, was only meant to be shared with her, not with Yitzchak. Okay? And how did she know it wasn't meant to be shared with Yitzchak? Because if Yitzchak himself is a Navi, so why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu communicate it to Yitzchak? If Avram is a Navi, why did he communicate it to Avram? Evidently it's clear they're not supposed to know it. Why aren't they supposed to know it? Because the whole involvement of Esav, son of Yaakov, that's part of existence. Because ultimately she's going to instruct Yaakov to take the brachos, Esav is going to be enraged, and so on and so forth. And that's the reality of existence. That's the balance of Tov and Ra. That's what it's about. So it's not Yitzchak had some kind of limitation. He had no limitation, Yitzchak. Yet, in terms of the guile and the deception of Esav, it was something not to be believed. Because we'll see later when he came back and he said, Hatzileni nomi yarochim yad Esav, his level of seduction and convincing a person of his warmth. Yaakov, knowing who Esav was afraid he would let his guard down. To that degree, you understand? You know who the man is, but yet, once he starts exuding all this warmth, he incapacitates you. To that degree. It's something we don't, we don't understand. Factually, if you read about the Nazis, Yimach Shmam, they had a very strong, this characteristic, they displayed very, very strongly in terms of misleading people, convincing people that you believed it was night, and all of a sudden you realize it was worse. It was day, and it was worse than night. It was darker than night. Okay. V'yom Hashem lo shnei goyim b'vitnech ul shnei lumim mimeach yiparedu. The two nations in your womb, ul shnei lumim. What's the difference between goy and elum? Mimeach yiparedu, from your meyayim, from your innards, they will separate. Elom elom yemetz. One will be empowered over the other, and the older will serve the younger. Rashi, Yom Hashem lo, Ayidei Shliach l'shem nemar b'ruach hakodesh hu amar lo, Shnei goyim b'vitnech, Geyim ksiv. Right, the ksiv is Geyim, two yuds. Elu Antoninus Rebbe, v'lo posku me'al shulchonom, lo tznon v'lo chazeres. Lo b'musacham, lo b'sagshomim. Why is this important for us to know? Gay means a person who is exalted. Two exalted kings will come. And what? That there will be no vegetable which will be lacking from the table regardless of the season. Even out-of-season vegetables will be on the table. That's an indication of gayus, of greatness. Nothing would be lacking. That's Rebbe and Antoninus, they were close. Antoninus, Chumash Rashi, had just studied Torah from Rebbe. Ultimately, he converted to be a Jew. He was a Roman emperor. What's the game? Why is this important for us to know? Shlo posku me'al shulchan lo stones v'lo chazeres.
Sign of wealth of the nation. Sign of a
Why is that important for us to know?
That we're talking about how two nations have come out of
How else would we understand the magnitude of how big the child's going to be?
So I was just thinking. Okay? So what do you see, Bernie? You know, if you can afford to go to Grace's Market, you buy any fruit, vegetable out of season. The best vegetables. So what does it say about you? Therefore what? You could afford it. There'd be no vegetable which is going to be lacking from Yudah Nosi's table. Just as Antoninus. Is that what we pride ourselves in that? And if you couldn't put the radish on the table when it was out of season, right? So I was thinking, we find that there was an agreement between Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov says, "I'm not interested in the material world. The material world, let it be yours. I'll have the spiritual world." Okay? Comes back after being away at Lavan with this tremendous amount of wealth. And he sees the gift he sent him. So he says, I thought we have an agreement that the material world is mine and the spiritual world, what are you doing with all this wealth? You embezzled, you took from my wealth. Right? So Yaakov says, you don't understand it. He says, to pursue the material for the material, that's you. I have no relevance to that. I have no interest in that. But I pursue the spiritual. When you pursue the spiritual, and if you pursue it correctly, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you the material to enhance it and facilitate and advance the spiritual, because we live in a physical world. So it's not, I went and I took no initiative. Hashem brought everything to me. So Esau had a new understanding. So he says, so let's redivide. You give me half your spirituality, I'll give you half the material. He says, I'm not interested. When they emerged from the womb, one emerged as the physical person, the other emerged as the spiritual person. The division is made. We don't redivide. That's what Yaakov. So the Shnei Goyim Bevitnech, which means in the material, Rabbi Yehuda Nash will have no less than the Roman. No, that's what it's saying. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will provide. He say in Kemach in Torah. So you have to. If you do the spiritual correctly and properly, Hashem will provide. Shnei Goyim. You'll have that same material status, even though you're not looking for that material status. Nothing will be lacking. Ushnei Lumim ein lo mel malchus. Kingdoms. Me'achi paredu min hamayayim hein nifrodim zel lerisha v'zel letumot. Each not the material. It's the opposite.
I mean, I have a flock saying, oh, well, I'm still who I am. It's 613, still.
Yeah, but again, then the Esau hadn't yet seen the material. You just say, just being exposed to love him for so many years, there's no way that you can't get worn down.
Oh, the whole concept of the I have it all.
That's later. That's when he sees the wealth. One is when he sent the messengers. That's later. Okay. Milom Yemotz Lo Yishu Bigdula. They will not be of equal status at the same time, because there comes a no-fill. When one rises, the other falls. I will fill in, as a result, what was destroyed. Tzur was a Roman city. Tzur was only built as a result of Yerushalayim being destroyed. If one goes, Tzur is the name of a city. One only rises when the other one falls. Because the empowerment of Ra is only as a result of what? Of the Tov being deficient. But when the Tov is empowered, there's no Ra. Because Ra is only a void, a vacuum. The Maral points this out, and also the Ramchal. Ra is only a vacuum. Ra is a result of vacuum. You don't have enough oxygen, what happens? Things start deteriorating in the body, right? If the organs don't have enough, they are. So it's a consequence. Ra is a consequence of not having Tov. The word of what's Chil Hashem? Chilul Hashem comes from the word Cholol, vacuum. Right? A person behaves a certain way. It's what? It's like God doesn't exist. Cholol. There's a cholo. There's a hole. There's a hole there. Okay. Let's see.
Does that mean the Yetzer Hara also?
Well, the Yetzer Hara facilitates it.
So if they're, even when it's
He-
good, when it's good, there's still the Yetzer Hara.
So what's one thing or another? It's Yetzer Hara is a force, is a malach. He's trying to trip you up. Yetzer Hara has nothing with vacuum. Yetzer Hara is the one who creates a setting that there should be a vacuum.
So if it's ultimate good, the Yetzer Hara is suppressed. Totally.
No, but he's always there. He's always there to trip you up.
Understood, but
He's less empowered.
it's a part, right?
Yeah.